Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Big hello to all the new subscribers. Made a video a day or two ago about a 25 horsepower Tohatsu 2-stroke. And as I was filming that, in the back of that, there was another engine that could be seen. And I had made a video quite some time ago about a mystery motor. At least it was a mystery to me, because I don't see many of them in my neck of the woods. But I basically got that motor finished up, and one person, I think it was Ernie, who spotted it in the other video, knew it was the not so mystery motor. But anyway, I got it all done up, and I want to go over a few things that I did to it. I'm going to show you some of the before footage from a previous video I did a while back. I took this engine completely apart. I mean, I took it down as far as you could take an engine, just because I wanted to. I'm not familiar with the motors, and I wanted to see how it was put together. And boy, some of it to me really had me scratching my head. Just things I'd never come across before, and so I did it up as best I could do it. I painted the pieces, and I wasn't able to film the actual painting of the pieces and the sections and all that, because I just had too much going on. So I just, you'll see some of the before. You can obviously tell it's been painted now and so forth, and came out really nice. And the only reason I attempted with this motor is because I had, over the last 20 years or so, two other very similar motors come in that I saved the parts from. I put them in a box, a couple boxes. I still have them out in my Conex there. And had it not been for them, I would not have been able to bring this one back. So I've got this one all done up. I think it's a fine example of the motor. The motor was bought new here in my area from a gentleman probably 35 years ago. On its second season, he said it quit. He put it in a shed and never touched it again until he brought it to me. When he brought it to me, everything was seized up. The power head was seized up, the swivels were seized up, the transom brackets, the transom part that swivels, everything was completely salty and seized. So it was kind of a labor of love and just curiosity that made me go into it. But now it's a good running little motor, and quite unique. I didn't have to change. I did change some things on it, and I didn't have to. It's just the way I like my motor set up. So I did those things, and on some of the things I had to do, and I'll point them out in order to even to get it to run. So here's the little beauty in question. Okay, here's the throttle system. It's very interesting. Some nylon pieces. Put that radio down. Yeah, really. I'm starting to get the lower unit. Got everything loose down there. And so I've got to get the shift rod out of there. But this shift, dual shift lever tiller shift, it's kind of a mystery to me, but it's neat. There's a little piece and that lug goes in that piece of nylon. Then that helicoil or helix goes all in there. With another slotted rod. So main reason I took this all apart, and it's not really as bad as I thought it would be, because I looked up under here and it's a little green, corroded and rusty, but I just want to clean everything up, because I intend to disassemble most of this motor and get it lubed up, cleaned up, and as much age and corrosion out of it as I can. So let me get this all lubed up and kind of back together. But I just wanted to film this tiller shift mechanism. It has both a shift handle and a tiller shift mechanism all tied into one. So interesting. Keep getting things apart. Here's what I will tell you about this engine. This engine is not for the faint of heart, and this engine is not for the newcomer purchasing an outboard and thinking they're just going to run home and put an impeller in it, especially if it's been used in salt water. This is a very, in my opinion, complex little motor. This is what I had to disassemble to get the lower unit off to get to the dual water pump. Yes, an upper water pump with impeller and a lower water pump with impeller. One pickup tube goes to the power head, and then the other pickup tube stabs in here, which is this one right here, which goes to the onboard bilge pump, which is right there. Twin pickup tubes. The shift rod comes apart in the very, very, very foot of the motor via that clip there. Middle section for double-ended bolts, curved shift rod, first water tube, second water tube, first water pump chamber and impeller, or upper water pump and impeller, second water portion of the water pump housing and impeller, and I haven't even taken this apart yet. So if it's been used in salt water, this one came apart very hard. And I ain't even close to getting there. You have to pull the pinion gear out and everything, and this bronze bushing that goes up in here. Very complex little motor, that's for sure. Getting there. This is what's left of the exhaust bypass port gasket. I taped and glued it together. That's where the thermostat goes. There was no thermostat in the motor. And then I'll use the actual engine block and a piece of paper and outline the gasket off of the actual engine block itself. And then I'll use this just to kind of confirm I traced it off of the block correctly. So I'll rub out an impression from the block, kind of back it up with this just to make sure I got it, and that'll be my new bypass port gasket. Okay, what I'm doing here is drilling out broke off rubber motor mounts. This goes to the power head, or excuse me, this goes below the power head, and it sandwiches the lower cowl to the power head. There's two in front, and then there's two that go through the pan, the lower cowl pan on the back. And I'm drilling out these old ones, and I'm gonna probably end up just taking and making my own bolt or something go through there, because the actual power head bolts to the actual leg. This is just to hold the pan on. So I have to get these out so I can get something going with repairing and making something. So I'll see what I come up with. Okay, I didn't want to go too long-winded here, so that's going to do it for part one of this thing, and make sure you watch part two to see how it turned out, bad or good. But I didn't want it to go too awfully long, and the video is starting to get a little long-winded, and to get it all in there and everything, it would just take too much time. So I'm going to break this into a part one, part two, and make sure you watch part two and see what we got and how she came out. Thanks for watching.